Welcome back to Narcissists Unmasked. Today we're diving deep into a question that often arises when we talk about narcissism. How is a narcissist created? Are they born this way, or is narcissism shaped by environment and experiences? Understanding how narcissistic traits develop can offer valuable insight into why some people become narcissists and why they can be so challenging to deal with. Stay with us as we explore the origins of narcissism and uncover the factors that contribute to its development. Let's get started. First, let's clarify what narcissism is. In psychology, narcissism is considered a personality disorder, specifically Narcissistic Personality Disorder, or NPD. Those with NPD have an excessive need for admiration, a lack of empathy, and a grandiose sense of self-importance. But narcissism isn't just one thing, it's a spectrum. Some people might have narcissistic traits without having full-blown NPD, while others meet the full criteria for a clinical diagnosis. So how do people end up with these traits? Let's break down the major influences that shape a narcissistic personality. One of the most debated questions is whether narcissism is genetic. Research shows there may be a genetic predisposition to traits like impulsivity, aggression, or the tendency to seek attention. If a child inherits these traits, they might be more likely to develop narcissistic characteristics later on, especially if these tendencies are reinforced by their environment. But genetics alone don't create a narcissist. A child may have certain predispositions, but it's typically their environment, particularly their early relationships, that truly shapes whether or not those traits develop into narcissism. Early childhood is crucial in personality development. Most psychologists agree that narcissistic traits can start forming very early on, especially in an environment that is either overly critical, neglectful, or excessively indulgent. Overly critical environments. If a child is constantly criticized and made to feel like they're never enough, they might develop a fragile ego as a defense mechanism. They could begin to seek admiration from others as a way to compensate for that inner sense of inadequacy. Neglectful environments. A child raised in an environment where they're emotionally neglected may start to believe that they're not worthy of love. To shield themselves from these painful feelings, they may develop a narcissistic shell, convincing themselves that they are special and above others. Overly indulgent environments. On the other end of the spectrum, children who are excessively praised or given the impression that they're better than others can develop a grandiose sense of self. If they grow up being told they're special without any limitations, they might believe they are entitled to admiration and special treatment from everyone around them. Another significant factor in the development of narcissistic traits is trauma. For some people, narcissism can be a defense mechanism against deep-seated wounds from traumatic experiences, such as abuse or abandonment. Children who experience trauma may shut down emotionally as a survival mechanism, cutting themselves off from empathy and emotional vulnerability. To protect themselves from ever feeling weak or hurt again, they may develop traits like emotional coldness, self-centeredness, or even a need to control and dominate others. Parents or caregivers play a major role in the development of narcissistic traits. Here are a few ways parents can unintentionally foster narcissism in their children. 1. Lack of boundaries. If parents don't set boundaries, the child may grow up thinking they're entitled to anything and everything. This can create a sense of superiority and entitlement. 2. Using the child for their own self-esteem. In some cases, parents use their children as a reflection of their own worth, pushing them to be perfect to fulfill their own needs. This can lead the child to feel they have to be exceptional to be loved. 3. Role reversal or parentification. In some situations, children are forced to take on adult roles, providing emotional support to the parent. This dynamic can create a sense of grandiosity, as the child feels they have a special role that sets them apart from others. Beyond family, societal and cultural influences play a role too. We live in a culture that often rewards narcissistic behavior, especially in the age of social media, where individuals are encouraged to seek validation and approval from others constantly. While not everyone who engages with social media becomes a narcissist, certain societal values, like materialism and fame, can foster narcissistic traits in those already predisposed to it. In this chapter, we explore the possibility of change for a narcissist. Can they truly transform their behavior and mindset? The answer isn't simple. Narcissistic traits are deeply ingrained, and change requires a willingness to address their behavior and work on developing empathy. It's rare for narcissists to change without intensive therapy, as they often see their behavior as justified and fail to recognize the impact on others. While it's rare, some narcissists who recognize their behavior and commit to growth can make progress. However, this is the exception, not the rule. In the end, narcissism is a complex interplay of genetics, environment, trauma, and societal influences. Understanding these factors gives us greater empathy and insight into how narcissists are created. But remember, it's essential to set boundaries and protect yourself from the harm they can cause. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit. Until next time, stay aware, stay empowered.